Okay, so here's a little update on my experiment with kombucha. So I started getting on a kombucha kick. This stuff at Whole Foods is about $3.70. So pretty darn expensive for a health drink. I guess standard whole food, whole wallet prices. But anyway, really love this stuff. Has a lot of good health benefits. So one of the things I read on the internet was you can just take this stuff. This is raw, so there's no preservatives, nothing bad in it, killing the good bacteria and fungus that's in there that makes it all good kombucha. And so you can just pour it into a mason jar and cover it with some cheesecloth, wrap it with a rubber band. I have a 6-year-old daughter, so no rubber bands in the house, but plenty of hair ties, so that works too. And then just a little date on when I started it. So this one I just started a day. You can see there's very little. I just put maybe a cup or so, or half a cup in here. And so that's how much I started here. But then I read again on the internet that you should put some starter tea in. This was a mix of black and green tea. So I just had standard Salada green and black tea, nothing special, no special flavors or anything like that. And then you add a couple tablespoons of sugar. So this is the mix here. And so basically this is the kombucha where I took tea, I boiled a cup of water, put one black and one green tea bag, 3 tablespoons of just white sugar, and then poured it into some ice to get it down to room temperature. I used a thermometer to make sure it was about 75 degrees. That's kind of the sweet spot for kombucha fermentation. And then what I did is I actually took some of this and about that same amount and I poured it into here. So about this much was the tea mix that I made, and that much, similar to this, was the amount from this kombucha. So anyway, that's the simple way without getting too fancy. You just buy a $3.50 bottle of kombucha and you can start making your own and save yourself a hell of a lot more. This costs you maybe $3.50 a pint or something like this. This stuff will cost you like 10 cents a pint. It's only sugar and tea and water, so pretty darn cheap. Now this bigger guy, this is kombucha I started with an actual Amazon starter. I bought this stuff on Amazon. Again, cheesecloth on the top, daughter's hairband around, little note card to let me know. This started on the 5th. And it's going pretty slow because basically the temperature has unfortunately only hovered probably around 58, 60 degrees, maybe 62. So what I'm doing is I bought one of these Beta Fish thermometers, and I actually bought a heating pad that I'll put all of these little guys on so the temperature will be good. And then with this guy I can monitor what the temperature is. Now the sweet spot range is in the 70s around here from what I hear. As you can see, it's much colder, but you can see this guy's been going for 5 days now and it's getting foggy, and supposedly as it ages, you can see this is more of the mixed. This is fresh black and green tea, kind of darker. This is a little lighter, and when your kombucha is really kicking, it's supposed to be very light, like much more tan, as you can see that. So this is fresh. And you can see this is a little lighter. And this is basically, I also bought a scoby from Amazon. It was $7.50. But then I thought, hey, I'm going to try an experiment with a scoby. This costs you $7.50. You got to buy the jar, and hopefully you have that around. If you like pickles, a big jar, you can just use that, save money. If you got a fish tank, you can use that to make sure your temperature is in the right range. But anyway, I'm going to try. This might be the cheapest way to make kombucha, which I'm all about. Certainly if you have somebody that already makes kombucha, have a friend like myself, they can send you their scoby and you can start it. Now the scoby, for those that don't know what the scoby is, this is going to be a little, see that little gelatinous guy over there? You can see it a little better there. I was going to get it. Ignore that gunk. That's, I think, good gunk, but you can see all this bacteria and fungus starts growing. The scoby itself that you buy is, he floated to the bottom. Where did he go? Anyway, he's in there somewhere. Oh, there he is. So, or her, the mother, it's called. But anyway, I think that stuff's okay. Just a little bit, they say sometimes funky stuff. What you don't want is like green mold growing on top. That's definitely what you want to avoid. And use natural fiber cloths. This is just cotton. I've heard if you use paper towels, it can get really funky. If you use coffee filters, is another option. But basically, you want to use something that's all natural. So this is just cotton cheesecloth. Although they say a dish rag can work just as good. So I may try this in the future when I run out of cheesecloth. Just buy a couple of these. But anyway, nothing too fancy. So anyway, let's see how it goes. All those all those mommy bloggers and health experts, it's really easy stuff. So don't have to overcomplicate or overproduce it. So anyway, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Good to see you watching. Sloan, David, C. Salen. And yeah, keep monitoring and see how my kombucha is. We'll do a flavor testing later on. And we'll go from there. Thanks again.